Hello there, welcome here to another episode of The Big Question. I'm your host here, Simon Irungo, is joined in by the resident guest, Professor Herman Manyora, the founder of this channel, the founder of Nairobi Review. How are you doing, sir?
Great.
Still representing Hakika 10,000?
Yes.
A well-fitted shirt. Looking good, Prof.
Good, thank you very much.
Well, let's kick into today's conversation, Prof. There is this conversation that is happening in the country right now. From independence, we've only had two tribes being elected as the president of this nation, Prof. Now, is there anything to read into this? Having only two tribes leading the nation for
only one word can describe it. Dangerous.
What do you mean dangerous?
Dangerous.
How? How is it?
It has never worked anywhere. It has always brought problems. Any country that is multi-ethnic, with ethnic majorities within it, if those ethnic majorities think they can rule the rest forever, they're just courting disaster. That's why if you look at the American Constitution, they were very careful. They knew it was possible for 2 or 3 major states to gang up and lead America forever. So they crafted their constitution with that in mind, and it's not possible. Yes. If you look at the arrangement of Congress and the arrangement of Senate, they use that to address where each state just has one senator. You see? But congressmen are different, and so on and so forth. You have to navigate very, very, very carefully in a multi-ethnic, multi-racial, multi-religious societies. You have to be extremely careful. If, for example, you have a country that is predominantly Muslim, but it has a significant presence of Christians, that's a flashpoint. You have to be very careful, very careful. If you have a country that has Kikuyu, Luo, Kamba, Luya, Kalenjin, predominant, with the other around 38, 39 being minor, you have to be very careful. What normally happens is, when you think people are stupid, and they have been taking it, a time will come, when like in Zimbabwe, then the Bele had always, over the years, for 200 years earlier, harass the Shona, who are the majority, by doing something that nobody ever does across the world, and nobody ever did. Whenever they would defeat the Shona, they would take their wives. Wives, not girls. It used to be virgins. Cows, salt, gold, and then money, and then virgins. That's why the Kikuyu, when you hear Nyokafi. Nyokafi is a Kavi, a Maasai. Girls, Kikuyus, after beating the Maasai, they will get their cows and girls, virgins. And vice versa. The Maasai will also harass the Kikuyus and get their girls, but virgins. Then the Bele used to get wives. The Shona never forgave them. And that's why Mugabe was able to lead that long and people didn't understand. In fact, Mugabe was sophisticated intellectually. If Mugabe had just been another ordinary African leader, then the Bele would have been subjected to a lot of suffering. But Mugabe was an intellectual. So, if this situation obtains, and I want to go on record, I'm going to do a video one of these days. The Kikuyu will be slaves in this country at some point. This they must wait for. They are leaving their children in a state where they will be slaves in this country. Because when others take over, because ethnic numbers are not static. The demographics change. In the next population census, the Luya will be number 1. That you cannot remove from them. The Kambas are moving at a terrific speed. So the terrain will change. And once the terrain changes, and then the Luyas get into an arrangement with the Luo and the Kamba, and maybe the Kisi, and now they are the new majority. The Kikuyus will be slaves in this country for 200 years. That's why people like Njonjo saw this thing when Kibaki was leaving. They said, it is not in our interest as Kikuyus to take over from Kibaki. All wazee waliona kitu, but people didn't see it. Then ICC happened. Then Uhuru took over. Then some people argued, including Uhuru Kenyatta. Surely, is it good for this country, for a Kalenjin, who is my number 2, to succeed me? So it is Kikuyu, Kalenjin. It's not sustainable. Never, however good William Ruto may be, and Rigathi Gachagua, they are very good people. But it is simply not sustainable. It is dangerous for the country.
Okay. Rigathi Gachagua, currently the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Prof.
Yes.
At any given point, maybe in future, are we likely to have a Rigathi president?
Yes, why not? Because Ruto has told us he can never treat his deputy the way Kenyatta treated him. So he has to treat his deputy well. And the bone of contention was Uhuru Kenyatta was standing in the way of Ruto becoming president. That's the bone of contention. Forget about these side shows. Oh, he treated him. No, what bad thing did Uhuru subject Ruto to? Nothing. Nothing. Those are small matters. The big matter is he stood in his way of becoming president. So when he says he will not mistreat his deputy, it is to say he will not stand in the way of his deputy succeeding him, which is good. Because you must be a man of honor. You must keep your word. So Ruto is a man of honor, I want to believe. He's a Christian. He'll keep his word. Keeping his word is about letting Rigathi Gachagua succeed him. Which is not what Moi did to Saitoti. You get it? Which is not what Moi did to Kibaki. So Ruto is saying that's not good. And therefore, we should expect a Rigathi Gachagua presidency. That is good. When the Ruto will prove to us, he's a gentleman. He's a man of God. You know, that's good. Keep your word. You must be a man of honor. But then you are creating a very dangerous situation which may destroy this country at some point.
But are people getting used to this cycle, Kikuyu Kalenjin, Kikuyu
You may think they are getting, but people, why do you think the whole country is gloomy? Ruto was being sworn in. Did you see the country celebrating?
Yeah, we saw people jumping.
You saw a few people jumping up and down. The rest of the country, we monitor. The rest of the country is so sad. Supposing that Raila being inaugurated, the whole country will come to a standstill. That shows you there is something somewhere. People are burning inside, but they don't have the power to do something about it. So it is dangerous. That burning inside is what destroys a country. Because you only need something small to happen, pack a spark, and the country is gone.
Okay, what do we need to do to break this cycle of a Kikuyu Kalenjin presidency? Because Gachagua is already next in line.
Nothing. There is nothing we shall do. Because after Rigathi Gachagua, maybe Ruto's son, Nick, will be ready. Maybe Uhuru's son will be ready. There's nothing we shall do. The people of this country have shown they are not seeing the danger. So there's nothing they will do. Ruto will win 2027. Rigathi will win 1032. 2042, who knows? One of their children or another Kalenjin or Kikuyu will win. So what are you asking me? Nothing we can do as a people. So what normally happens, when you put people in a state where they can do nothing, then that's something that you're asking what they can do comes in a bad way. It never comes in a good way.
Okay, Raila has been pronounced as a kingmaker, Prof.
Yes.
And currently we don't know if he's going to be running for another term to vie for the seat of the president, Prof.
Yes.
Do you think Raila can appoint someone maybe to succeed him? And how successful with this person that he is going to elect?
You know the problem with the politics, people are rarely appointed. If you are looking at Rift Valley, who would have known Ruto would be the king of Rift Valley? People, if Moi was appointing someone in Rift Valley, could it have been Ruto? Either his son Gideon, Henry Koskei, Sally Koskei, such a people. Those are the names. Where was Ruto's name? So power is not about saying I'm appointing you. Power is about somebody getting the power, the way Ruto got it. It explains why the Luyas cannot get power, because they don't have somebody to go and get that power for them.
You can be that person to change the Luya.
But
you can be that person.
You know, again,
from the Luya nation.
Yes, I have the heart, I have the spirit, I have the will, I have the fire in the belly. But Kenyan politics is also so highly dependent on resources. Family name and the resources. If you may not have family name like Ruto, but you need some resources. You also need to want the power badly. I don't have resources. I don't want the power. At least not badly. So for people like Ruto, they may not have had family names, but they went for resources, which they got. Because Ruto is not a poor man, he's a billionaire. Don't ask me how he got the money. Then he wanted power that badly. So I don't have the resources. I cannot get the resources at any cost. That won't be me. That's not my makeup. That I want money and I'll do anything to get it. No, that's not me.
Okay.
Secondly, I do not want power, Simon, that badly. That's why people like Raila are not getting it. They don't want it that badly. I've seen people even campaigning for small jobs, even dean at the university. Until I'm left wondering, what is this guy campaigning for? Dean? Or student leaders, you wonder, you must want power badly. As if you didn't get it, you are going to die. Those are the reasons why people like Kalonzo, Musyoka, Mudavadi, Raila are not getting this power, because they don't want it badly.
Okay, now mentioning Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, Prof.
Yes.
He said 5 years is a very short term and they're going to wait. They're going to go back to the drawing board after 5 years.
Who said? Kalonzo Musyoka?
Kalonzo Musyoka.
Yeah, and he's a young man.
Do you think with the support of Raila, he can be the person to break this cycle?
If things were to work naturally, then Kalonzo should be the one to be supported by Azimio. At least that formation that is around Raila. The natural heir would be Kalonzo. It will be so unfair for Raila to put his hand on another person other than Kalonzo. Even the people will find him not just unreasonable, almost foolish. You get what I'm saying? But again, that's not how politics works. That's why David got it wrong. He kept thinking Moi will give him. After Moi, he thought Uhuru will give him. Raila will give him. No, that's not how politics works. So Kalonzo is a rightful successor to Raila. But that's not how politics. He must go for it. He must make friends across the Azimio zones. He must make friends with Joho, friends with Mudavadi, friends with Kinawetangula, with Kinawaparanya. To tell them, look here, I'm your senior. Let's go into this thing in 2027. Let's establish a team. Let's start now. Have a structured approach to 2027. With him emerging obvious leader. Again, you must be the obvious leader. Wherever you are sitting somewhere, people must not be told. Everybody must see you are the natural leader, the obvious leader. So will Kalonzo have that in him?
But with the decisions that he's been making, rational decisions, do you think perhaps the Azimio team is going to go behind Kalonzo and support him?
They should support him, but he must be supportable. That's what I'm saying. I don't know whether there's an English word like that.
5 years. Do you think they
5 years is a short time.
Do you think they can take a...
And who tells you it will be 5 years? The world is changing. People lose government midstream.
Okay.
You can start this thing of hustler giving people this and you fail. And people tell you to go home before 5 years. The opposition is always ready to take power tomorrow, not 5 years. So Kalonzo again must be told, it's not 5 years. It is tomorrow. Ruto must know any time his job can go. That's where he will work. And I had predicted, although wrongly, that this parliament will send somebody home. Actually, my warning was to Raila Odinga. I was telling him you will be president. But unless you are careful in choosing MPs, people who are going to run for MP, you could be the first president to be impeached. I said on this show.
In this situation, it is now William Ruto.
Now it is William Ruto. He can go. He can be impeached. But now, looking at the way MPs are falling over themselves to go to him, trooping to him, again, I think my prediction is wrong. But if we have an assertive parliament, impeaching a president is not a very difficult thing. So, Kalonzo must be told, never ever talk of 5 years if you want to take over. Say, we are taking over from Ruto. We don't see him succeeding. He has made such a useless promises. He will not deliver on these promises. And we shall send him home and take over government in a year's time. That is how an opposition works in a democracy. Unless the American democracy where is a fixed 5-year term. Nobody ever imagines the president can go. But like in parliamentary democracies, the opposition is always trying. What do you call motions of what? No confidence and what do you call there? Vote of no confidence.
Yeah.
It's always being brought in the House of Commons, in Italy, in Japan, always. Mwaka iwezi pita. Unasikia Italy kitu, pap. Unasikia India kitu, pap. Unasikia Japan, pap. UK, pap. So we are not an entirely American system. Neither are we a UK system. We are sort of hybrid. You know, the architecture of our constitution is a little crazy. So we are neither really presidential in American sense, neither are we parliamentary in the British sense. So there is room for sending government home midstream. And that's what Kalonzo should be talking about. Say, we are certain this government will go home tomorrow.
Okay, now as we wrap up the conversation, how soon are we likely to see another tribe leading Kenya?
It is difficult. Let us be very honest. If Raila couldn't make it, I'm not seeing anybody doing it. If people didn't stop Ruto, they will not stop him in 2027. They will not stop his succession in 2032. No, I am not optimistic. Unless he fails terribly. You know, governments sometimes go down when life becomes impossible. They said Uhuru had made this country very poor, life very difficult. Supposing it became worse 5 times under Ruto, he can go even in a year's time. Or in 2027, he can stand no chance. Trump was automatically winning in 2020. But Black Lives Matter happened. COVID happened. He couldn't. So in politics, anything can happen. But short of those, no tribe can take over the leadership of this country in the next 30 years.
Okay, I guess that's a good place to wrap up the conversation. Well, that has been it for today's episode of The Big Question. I'm your host, Simon Irungu. Don't forget to check out our new channel, Let's Talk Love Kenya. Richard Mwenja will be coming in with Business Glide and Siasa Brigade. Jadel Kabiro with Political Conversation. Kennedy Kimutai on the Street. Well, till you have this conversation again, enjoy the rest of your day.